What's up, it's Ant Walker here with Ringside Intel, and now that UFC 303 is out of the way, it's time to talk about what we can do next with the main card winners. Alex Pereira successfully defended his light heavyweight title, putting on another fantastic stoppage, this time against Jiri Prochazka in their rematch. This happened early second round. At this point, it's pretty easy to call Alex Pereira a dominant champion. With the exception of the Jan Blachowicz fight that was his entrance to the light heavyweight division, every fight that he's had since has been total domination. He dominated Jamal Hill, dominated Prochazka twice. That's three former champions that he's been able to get a W over. Now, as far as what you do with him next, the only name that makes sense in my opinion is Magomed Ankalaev. That is the one guy who did challenge for the title. That fight went to a draw and it ended up not being the most exciting thing in the world. However, he's still head and shoulders above the other contenders. Everyone else either Pereira has defeated or they have recently lost themselves, and it just doesn't make sense. So I think that is the way to go. Of course, Poatan is a guy that's so exciting and that could make the move up to heavyweight. And of course, if that happens, I'm here for it. I would love to see that. But if he's sticking around at 205, Magomed Ankalaev is the only thing that makes sense to me. In the co-main event, Dan Ige answers the call to get off the couch with a few hours notice to take on Diego Lopez. Lopez, of course, gets the decision win. Now, this is sort of a weird thing, right? Because Lopez originally had a chance to break into the top 5 of the division with a win against Brian Ortega. For obvious reasons, that fell apart. Now with a win over Dan Ige, who was ranked just one step above him at 13, and on extremely short notice, you kind of don't know what to do with Diego Lopez next, but I think the best course of action is for the UFC to treat it as if he actually defeated Brian Ortega and give him some of those more marquee matchups in the division. Now, I don't like the idea of him and Ige rematching at the Sphere. Please leave that behind. I don't like the idea of rebooking Brian Ortega. Please leave that behind. What I propose is having Diego Lopez take on Josh Emmett. That sounds like an exciting style matchup. It will be a fresh matchup, and it gives Lopez a legitimate chance to break into the top of the featherweight rankings. Next up, Roman Dolidze was able to defeat Anthony Smith via decision. Of course, this was a move back up to 205 temporarily for Roman. The thing is, though, now he defeated a perennial top 10 guy, a former title challenger in Anthony Smith. He might want to stick around at 205. He's obviously a big person, cuts a lot of weight, and maybe it would be better suited for him to stay at 205, build up some extra muscle, and really go into that role. It is a much thinner division. Obviously, the prize at the top may not be too appealing, and that's a fight with Poatan, but still, this is a far thinner division that he could move up the rankings with a lot less activity. So if he wants to stick around at 205, I say give him Dominic Reyes. But if Dolidze does want to go back to 185, I propose a match with the other Roman Kopylov. Macy Chiasson was able to defeat Mayra Bueno Silva. Now, this is very strange for the bantamweight division because it kind of doesn't matter what happens next, right? Yeah, gun to my head, I'm probably going to say give her a rematch with Irene Aldana, or perhaps Ketlen Vieira would be a good matchup as well. The problem is with this division sort of in flux right now, Amanda Nunes vacating the title, rumors of her coming back, sort of putting things in a standstill. We do have a champion in Raquel Pennington who is scheduled to face former champion Juliana Pena. Now, until that happens, we kind of don't know what to do. And then that's not even factoring in Kayla Harrison, who's presumably going to fight the winner of that, but that's also dependent on whether Amanda Nunes comes back. I say play the waiting game for the time being, but if Chiasson wants to stay active, give her Irene Aldana or Ketlen Vieira. In the pay-per-view opener, Ian Machado Gary was able to defeat Michael Venom Page via decision. It wasn't exactly the most exciting fight, but it's exactly what Gary needed to do to get the win. So he moves up in the division. Now, if this were a more exciting win, however, I probably wouldn't be opposed to giving him a title shot. To have him fight the winner of Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad, I'm still not really close on that idea, but the name Shavkat Rakhmonov keeps coming up. And that is a very interesting name because he also is undefeated. He's also storming through the welterweight rankings, and no one else seems to want to fight this guy. They keep mentioning one another. Why not just put them together? Alternatively, you could go with the winner of Sean Brady and Gilbert Burns. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but Rakhmonov and Gary just sounds like way too much fun to pass up. And that will do it with main card matchups for UFC 303. Remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell that friend to tell 10 more friends. Stay locked in the Ringside Intel. I'm Ant Walker. Peace.